Special category, North Hobart Oval. Australian football at North Hobart Oval has been central to the game in Tasmania since 1922 and was established in anticipation of the first Australian National Football Carnival in Tasmania in 1924. And as we celebrate the 150th anniversary of Australian football in Tasmania, we acknowledge the role of this historic and much-loved oval. The North Hobart Oval becomes the fifth induction into the special category of the Tasmanian Football Hall of Fame. The first, in 2007, was the iconic Queenstown Gravel Oval. In 2008, the Best of Country Teams. 2009, the Giant Killers. 2012, King Island Football Association. From being Hobart Town's original brickfield site in 1844, then a home for convict women for a time, an immigration depot, a refuse dump and a grazing area for livestock, the construction of the oval took place in 1921. This magnificent boutique city-based oval has hosted all the great clubs, coaches and players that have been part of the history of the game in Tasmania, including North Hobart Demons, Southern Cats, Sandy Bay Seagulls, Hobart Tigers, Dosa Football Club, the Tasmanian Devils and Hobart City. It has also been the venue for a variety of events, but most of all, it is known as the spiritual home of football in Tasmania.
To have people crammed into that wonderful ground, to be so close to the action, full of character, the smell of liniment and hot dogs and beer.
In the early 70s, my mum used to bring me to the footy every Saturday, and we'd sit in the Ride Street stand and barrack for Sandy Bay. And
I was sitting in the grandstand with my father watching Peter Hudson play for Tasmania once, and I think he kicked 8 or 9 goals that day, and just the crowd and the reaction for a young man sitting in the grandstand, that's the memories I have of the ground, and because it gave me the bugs, I want to be out there one day.
You can't help but feel that excitement and that history when you walk in. When you go and play at other grounds and then come home to North Hobart Oval, it's a really special feeling.
I understand at half-time the ground was very muddy, it had been raining heavily, which is unusual for Hobart, but the dog actually buried the Saveloy, so I think will go down in everybody's memory.
Some of my greatest sporting memories revolve around this ground. I arrived on the 13th of February 1967, and for people that can remember that day, was the day we had those terrible bushfires here. This particular ground was used as a depot for the fire authorities. There was fire trucks here and a lot of firefighting equipment that was stacked around the ground.
This oval is hosted all of the best players in the country on 3 separate occasions. So 1922, 1947 and 1966. So, the greats of the game have, as I said, passed through this oval.
I suppose the spectators are almost part of the game because they're sitting up and around the ground. If you were skillful enough, you could run the ball through the lines and kick lots of goals. So, it was a high-scoring ground as well.
It's always been a great surface, so it's just been a really good ground. And particularly when you get 4,000 or 5,000 people here, it's like you got 10,000 at other grounds.
I think it's terrific that we're able to celebrate its existence. I really do see it as probably the spiritual hub of footy in the state.
This is a rightful place for a footy ground that's so much more than just a sporting facility. It's really part of Tasmanian footy culture and history and our life.
North Hobart Oval holds the top 5 of the top 6 ground attendance records in Tasmanian football history and has been the battleground of some of the fiercest football contests that the Tasmanian football public has ever seen, and continues to play a very important role in the social fabric of Tasmanian sporting history.